we're here at the DiversiTech booth at AHR 2022 in Las Vegas, Nevada, and we're going to make some pigs fly. So, I'm here with Scott from DiversiTech, who's like the tool genius, tool whiz,
tool guru,
tool whiz kid,
whiz kid, guru,
any of that,
expert,
and I'm really excited about the line set cleaner. This is actually a product that Scott's had to keep me shut up about for quite a while because I've been wanting to tell everybody about it.
Absolutely.
And it's been under lock and key, but it's finally public. It is out there in the wild, and we're going to go through and do a quick tour of everything that's in it. I've already done a quick YouTube video on it, but Scott's like the expert on this thing. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
So the line set cleaner from Hillmore actually comes with 5 nozzles from 3/8 to 7/8. So you get 3/8, ½ inch, 5/8, 3/4, 7/8. The launching mechanism itself, 2 foam pigs of each size, and yes, pigs is an industry term, and a catch bag. Now, the other unique thing about this set is I'm a tool junkie, so I like to make sure I give everybody options. So if you don't like carrying around a set, the blow mold case, you can take this out, put it in your tool truck toolbox, put it in your toolbox at home, or however you want to carry it, so you have options. So it's a really nice set available at Hillmore.
So let's talk about the application here and why I'm so excited about this. So we've been using kind of a similar setup for many years at Kalos. I had some things I didn't like about it, and so this is an improvement on something we've been doing for a long time. A lot of people, the objection to this is, well, look, if I start pushing this through a line set, it's going to get stuck. I'm so afraid. I'm going to be in an apartment complex. It's going to get stuck in a wall. The risk is too great. But we've done about 5,000 installs, and not a single one has gotten stuck. And with this, we even have some kind of key improvements. And so we're going to show it pushing through the H. We're going to show it going through a kink. The goal here is to get the line set squeaky clean. There's so many things that we've done with flushes and all that, and some of it works okay. But for those of us who have done installs for a long time, not that much comes out the end under normal circumstances.
Right.
But when you're actually squeegeeing everything out of that line, it all comes out. I mean, it really gets it squeaky clean. So a lot of benefits to this. We've seen a decrease in callbacks, warranty claims, all that with TXVs, compressor failures, by getting all that stuff out of the lines. Now, some people quickly ask, is this something you push through an evaporator coil, a condenser coil, a valve? Right. No, this is for a line set. This is to clean your 3/8 and your 7/8, 3/8, 3/4, and you do want to clean both lines. Even though the liquid line you would think wouldn't have a lot in it, we've been amazed at how much stuff comes out of that liquid line. We'll talk about some of the key practices after we do the demo, but let's go ahead and go into the next step.
So you mentioned improvements, and one of the things I do want to point out, Brian, what we've done with the foam, it's an EVA PVC blend pig. So it's actually kind of what I would say hydrophobic. It doesn't like moisture.
Yep.
So whatever it encounters inside the line set, it's going to push. It's not going to absorb it at all. It's going to push it out the other end.
Yep.
So how you hook this up is you grab the launching tool, you pick the appropriate nozzle. We're going to go to 3/4 here real quick. You screw the nozzle onto the gun itself. You attach it to your line set via the thumb screw, and you open the chamber, put your pig in the chamber, close the chamber, hook it up to your 70 PSI compressed nitrogen tank, pull and hold the trigger till that pig starts to fly. So we've got a demo set up over here to run these through the Hillmore H here. Once again, we're going to open the chamber the pig, close the chamber, pull the trigger, and watch that pig fly. We'll do it one more time because I know that was quick.
Show everybody what it came through, yeah.
So here we go. We'll do it again. One more time.
One more time. I love the sound of it.
Yes.
It's a very satisfying.
It's a very satisfying sound.
Yeah.
And if you want to do more than one pig, we don't recommend it.
Oh, he's putting more than one at a time.
Woo,
oh, geez.
I launched that one.
Oh, wow. How many you have in there?
You can make music if you want to.
Sorry, I'm laughing like a schoolgirl.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's too much fun.
It makes executives giggle, absolutely.
It does, yeah. That's good stuff. So one of the most common objections that we get is, well, what happens if there's a horrible kink in the line set?
Right.
What happens if there's something wrong? We can't do it, it's going to get stuck.
Absolutely.
So the first thing that we want to show is that it's probably not going to get stuck, even with a pretty extreme kink. So Scott made up this just because it's what people keep saying. They say it on my channel, they say it everywhere. Take a look at how kinked that bad boy is. It is really, really kinked.
And I would honestly say, Brian, if you encounter a kink anything more extreme than this, you truly have an efficiency problem.
Right, you got to fix it. I mean, even a kink of that big is probably going to be an issue, but it's going to make it through, or at least we'll demonstrate.
Yeah, you have to push it through. But if the pig doesn't come out the other end, you can easily unattach the gun from that one end, go to the opposite end, and then hook the gun back up and blow the pig out the opposite end. So we're going to do it just into this catch bag real quick. We'll make sure that all the safety features are in place, and there it went. I know that was quick. I'll put one more through. There it went. We'll do the third one just to make sure. There it is. There they are.
Have a question.
Fantastic.
Oh, we got a question from the audience.
Yes, sir.
The connections, where you have the connections, but the pipe join, like say, different ways.
Yeah, so like a soldered joint?
Yeah.
Or if you have...
Because sometimes, when they solder,
Correct. Correct.
Sometimes they make like a ball inside.
Yeah, like a ridge on the inside.
Yeah.
Right, so the foam, the way it is, it's a very dense foam. Here you go. You can go ahead and squeeze that real quick. The worst thing that'll happen is it'll actually shear off, but it'll still continue to push everything through that pipe, still wiping that pipe clean.
Yep. And that's what makes this really unique, because a lot of people will have the objection, well, what if it does get stuck? What if there's a kink that's worse than that?
Right.
Okay. If there is a case where it literally gets stuck, you've got a problem.
Yes.
Like, and you need to know that, and this helps you know that.
Right.
Because how many times, if you are reusing a line set, and you get done, you're like, you know what, I think we might have a kink suction line here. That's a really hard thing to know. Whereas if you use this product, you would know if you did.
Right.
And you still can get it out, you just push it back the other way.
Exactly.
You take it off the one end, you move to the other side, you push it back to the inside. You know, move your catch net around to the other direction. Really easy to do. So it actually gives you a whole nother kind of facet to troubleshooting should you run into that really difficult situation.
100%, Brian. You are exactly correct.
Yeah, yeah. And again, like we mentioned, you are going to need to have open line sets on both ends.
Yes.
You are going to want to ream both sides, but especially the entry side.
Yes.
Because if you don't ream and you have that little edge on there, that can cause damage to the edge of the pig. Now, it's not going to be catastrophic. It's not the end of the world. But for some people who may want to get more than one use, I think we're recommending only using them once.
Correct.
But if you wanted to get more than one use out of it, it is going to be more likely to kind of score the edges if you leave that sharp edge.
Correct. If the foam pig comes out, in pristine condition, it may be a little dirty. You could definitely use, your typical dish soap and some warm water just to make sure you get all the contaminants, because you don't want to run the old nasty oil that may be partially in these pigs into the next line set. So you want to make sure it's 100% clean. But yeah, one use would be ideal.
Yep.
Question from the audience. Will it travel on a line set over 50 feet?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So yesterday we had a 100-foot line set here. I hooked up the half-inch line set. It did blow a couple of pigs through it. It all depends on how big of a tank you have and how much you have in that tank to really push that pig through.
Yeah.
The larger diameter, obviously, you're going to need more volume. So be prepared to have a full tank when you're going after some of those longer line sets of over 100 foot.
Yeah, and again, that doesn't, because the pig represents a blockage in the line, some people get confused and they imagine pressure drop, but pressure drop isn't a factor. It's just a matter of how much nitrogen volume you have to put in to get it out. So there's no theoretical length limitation to this.
Correct.
In fact, what a lot of people don't realize when we talk about this being a pig, I was actually talking to people who are like, oh, I think that's a brand name. No, that is literally the industry term that's used for something that goes through a line to scrub it clean. This is used in all sorts of pipe cleaning applications all throughout the world. I mean,
yes, oil and gas is a large one. They
yep.
have up to 8-inch diameter pigs that they use. So, and they're huge.
And they'll go miles in some cases cleaning lines. So this is a very established technology put together in a really nice kit that's specifically designed for our trade. This is not something that's crazy on the edges of what is done. And it's called a pig. And
That's right.
And you make pigs fly.
We do make pigs fly.
Yeah, you do.
100%.
Yeah,
That's kind of the tagline for the product. Hillmore Tools. We do make pigs fly.
Yeah, and I think this is really cool. Wow, that was a lot of them all at once.
Yeah.
So another thing that I think is nice about this product is it shows the commitment that Hillmore has to the HVAC industry, because this is an HVAC specific product. It's made to solve a specific application problem. It's really well engineered. The kit was put together really well, and again, this is Scott and his team who did this. So I think it says a lot about the direction that Hillmore is going as far as building products that are specifically designed for our trade.
100%, Brian.
Yeah.
We definitely appreciate it. Yes, sir.
We got a question.
Yeah.
What about burnouts? We talked about that yesterday.
Yep.
What's that look like?
I mean, if you have a burnout, this is an absolutely excellent application for this tool, especially if you've had multi burnouts.
Sure.
You would need to cut the lines before you can push through. This isn't going to go through a manifold or a coil or a valve or a line dryer or anything like that. But if you've got a bad burnout and you want to make sure that the line set is completely cleared, you don't have any burned out oil, absolutely perfect application for this.
Yes. Well, we talked about that in your class. Like, you got to put the burnout kit and all that stuff.
Correct.
Theoretically, you come back, pull that back out, put a new dryer on there.
Yeah.
Will that eliminate any of that?
It's not going to eliminate those steps because, again, in the case of oil charge, most of your oil charge is contained in the compressor and in the accumulator, and a lot of it's also going to be in the condenser coil. So this isn't going to eliminate the need to do acid protocol, but it would be a nice step, especially if you had a pretty extreme circumstance. But also, if you're doing a change out, there's many cases where you're doing a change out on a system, and the reason why you're doing the change out is because the compressor's failed. And a lot of times the compressor's failed because it's a burnout, right? And so doing this, if you're going to reuse a line set, is probably the best way to ensure that you've got a really clean and clear line set.
And I also like the fact that if there is a bad kick and you can't get it through, you know the problem before you start.
Exactly, before you get started.
For me, it does make sense.
That's a good thing, not a bad thing. This whole idea of like, well, if it gets stuck, that's a problem. It's like, no, if it gets stuck, it teaches you something, and then you can still get it out. Just push it back the other way.
Absolutely.
Yep.
And as far as restriction of turns in the lines and stuff like that, I mean, as HVAC contractors, we kind of know how the houses are built.
Yep.
Is there any restrictions with like how many 90s or how far, or
No, because
just pump up the nitro?
Yeah, because you don't pump it up. You leave it at 70-ish psi. Yeah, and that's all. Because again, the more volume that comes behind this pig, it's not a cumulative resistance that's going to affect it. See, when we're thinking about resistance, we're imagining flow. In this case, we don't have flow. We're building up pressure behind something. So it wouldn't matter if it was 50 feet or 1,000 feet. So long as we're building up that column of pressure behind, that's actually static pressure that's being applied. It's not flow pressure, if that makes sense. So, yeah, it'll get it through. Yeah, if it's not getting it through, there's a problem. Yeah,
100%.
Sweet. Well, Scott, thank you so much
Brian,
for doing the presentation.
thank you very much.
Yeah, this is an
thank you
awesome
for coming
product.
by.
And for people who want to, find out more about it, find out more about what you do, what are some places they could go?
Oh, they could. So where to get it? So they can go to hillmoretools.com. The website should be up. I want to say it's going to be available at TrueTechTools.com.
Yeah, TrueTech Tools is one option, but then distributors everywhere. If they don't have it yet, well, then ask them to bring it in.
Absolutely. If they already distribute Hillmore Tools, they have access to it, so they should be able to order it right away. It's the HLC 007.
HLC 007. Thanks, Scott.
Hey, no problem. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. Eric Kaiser here for the HVAC School. And right now we are at booth N10920 at AHR 2022. This is the Microfill by Stuart Turner booth. And I'm here with Nicholas, and he's going to talk about a new product that they're bringing to the United States for hydronic and chilled water systems, especially water-based systems. So, Nick, tell us a little bit about this product and what it does for technicians and plant owners.
Okay. Well, it's our first foray into the US. It's a product that we've had for over 20 years in the UK. It's market leader, and in essence, it fills commercial heating and chilled water systems from empty. It provides suitable US backflow protection to prevent the ingress of inhibited water getting back to the wholesome supply. And it's also an electronic pressure manager.
Okay.
Beyond that, it does lots of other things, which we probably haven't time to get into. But as you can see, it's a wall-mounted unit. It utilises, unlike conventional units that use pumps and tanks to fill and subsequently top up systems, it utilises mains or boosted mains water through a series of solenoid and check valves to administer water to a commercial system.
Okay.
Then once you hit a target pressure for that relative system, it stops, closes valves and opens a drain valve that exhausts a small amount of water that would fill an egg cup. It creates the relative backflow protection required for the US. So that then prevents any inhibited water getting back to the mains. So there's no pump, there's no tank, so you have very few moving parts. It's utilising the energy that's already been created by the mains to fill and subsequently top up. And it's one size fits all, and the only thing that changes are the parameters to suit that specific site.
So you set the pressure and it just keeps that pressure constant.
yeah.
So does that get rid of an expansion tank then?
No, you still require that because you're now sealing what was maybe previously an open system to a sealed system. so you need an expansion vessel or a tank or tanks with it.
Okay.
So the relative air cushion or nitrogen cushion charge needs to match the cold fill setting on that.
Okay.
So on a heating circuit, if you have 30 psi on the cold fill, which is the highest point of that heating or chill circuit, you have 30 psi in the air cushion on the bladder of the tank.
Yeah.
On heating, through the elevation of temperature, the pressure increases, and the tank is there to absorb that volumetric expansion through this.
Awesome. And so I'm guessing with the electronics in this, say if it needs a fill up or a top up on that system, it's going to keep track of all of that electronically.
Correct, yeah. So as you see on the left-hand side here, it's monitoring the incoming pressure that's constantly changing, and this is the system side, which of course changes relative to temperature.
Yeah.
So once it's hit its target's pressure, and there's maybe some nitrogen exhausted out of the system, it knows what it's trying to hit on a target cold fill. It opens up the valve, administers the relative volume of water, it hits its target, closes again, and monitors constantly.
That's pretty nice. So kind of like an electronic fill valve, I would call it.
That's
maybe?
exactly what it is, yeah, you've got it, yeah.
So does this offer any monitoring and alarms out
Does,
to a
yes.
customer?
Yeah, it does, yeah. So at the moment it's on BMS, so we've got high level and low level. So they're relative to the cold fill setting. Of course, they're changing and movable to the P&T valve on a heating circuit or otherwise. So what it's doing really is protecting the capital plants. So if you have a large chiller or expensive boiler plant, hundreds of thousands of dollars, you put this on the wall, it's going to monitor that. So it's going to protect it from low level and high level to prevent it from potentially running dry or overpressurizing, cracking, etc.
Yeah, that's fantastic, because if we run dry or crack one of those systems, that costs, as you said, hundreds of thousands of dollars sometimes in repairs or downtime, lost manufacturing,
Exactly that,
who
yes.
knows?
That's it, yeah. So you've got a 120 hertz, 120 volt, 50 hertz connection in, and the connection out is normally going to that plant.
Okay.
So it's protecting the plant. So the last device is normally the safety valve, but this is going to cut out before your safety valve lifts and weeps incessantly.
A normal backflow preventer.
Correct.
What is the test interval on this?
What's the?
The test interval, yearly testing, right?
Correct,
Does
yes.
this need to be tested
No, it
yearly
doesn't.
like that?
No, it doesn't.
So it gets rid of that yearly testing
Correct,
requirement
it
on
does,
the
yeah.
backflow preventers.
This has now had the AWSC approval for water, and it's just going through electrical as we speak. So what this allows you to do is to put it onto any commercial heating or chill water system, administer mains water to it to fill the system, but unlike an RPC, you don't require a verification check every 12 months. It's fit and forget.
Wow, that's kind of handy for an
Yeah.
operator there.
And very much unlike conventional pump units, this only consumes 10 watts an hour on standby and 30 watts an hour when fully functioning. And it
So low power draw.
very much so, and it fills the system at approximately 3.8 US gallons based on 30 psi incoming main.
Okay, well, that's pretty good, pretty good. So if somebody wants more information on this and they can't get by the booth this week to see you guys,
Yeah.
where can they find more information on
If
the
you go on to
product?
microfill.com, it's at microfill.com. There's a landing page there for the US with detailing exactly what I've just discovered.
Awesome, microfill.com. So if you can't get by to see everybody at the AHR show this week, go to microfill.com, learn more about the product. It's new to the US. Sounds like a really great solution to me, having worked on a lot of those systems before. May stop a lot of problems. Eric Kaiser for HVAC School. Thanks, everybody.
Hey guys, we are here at the Navac booth at AHR Expo 2022 with Kevin Mayer, and he's going to show us a new tool that Navac has put out. So I'm going to hand this over to him. Hey Kevin.
Hey, how you doing?
Good.
Glad to have everybody take a look at this. This is our brand new battery-operated swedging tool. It's built on the same platform as our battery-operated flare tool. It uses the same battery, so it will go from 3/8 of an inch up to 1 1/8 and 1/8 inch increments. We'll prepare our tube just like we would any other time to make a swedge. Simply slide the tool into the tubing, push the button, let it go. On the back side, there's a battery status light and a working status light. And in about 12 seconds, you end up with a swedge.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
And there you go. Nice tight fit.
Beautiful. Beautiful. And where can we find these products? Where's a
look,
good place for our listeners to go?
Depending on where you are, a lot of local wholesalers will have this tool in stock very shortly. It'll be out in about 2 months. Initial inventory is arriving now as we speak, as soon as they unload the 87 ships sitting off the coast of Long Beach. It will also be available from internet sales groups such as TrueTech Tools and T Equipment. So visit your local wholesaler or order it online. It comes with a full 2-year warranty that includes all the heads, the tool, and the battery and the charger. It comes in a very nice case to keep everything in one place so you won't lose it. So if you get a chance, take a look at Navac Tools. Hope you guys are having a great day. Hope to visit you sometime soon. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, we are at the DiversiTech here at AHR Expo with Alston. Hey, Alston, good morning.
Good morning.
What do you have for us today?
Today I would like to show you our latest addition to the SpeedClean product family. We had a full line of bib kits from cassette bibs to a standard bib, but the feedback we received from our contractors was that they really wish they had something to protect the ceiling and the top of the mini split. So over the past year we went to work developing a 360 bib kit. The kit comes with the lower frame like our previous kit, but also includes a full frame that goes to the back of the unit and allows you to get inside that mini split, spray, and not have to worry about doing any damage to the walls or getting any splatter anywhere. At SpeedClean, this is certainly the most innovative bib kit on the market today, so please come by and check it out.
Nice, thank you.
That's it.
We are here with Adey at AHR Expo 2022 in Las Vegas, and I'm pretty excited about this little booth tour. And we're with Antonia and Doug. Good morning.
Good morning.
And so they're going to talk with us about their product.
Good morning, everyone. Antonia's going to take us through a basic overview of really what Adey is all about. Our goal is to counteract corrosion.
Yep. So we manufacture a range of products for testing, cleaning, and protecting boiler systems, chilled water systems, and steam systems from corrosion. So corrosion occurs as contaminants and air get into the system. That then oxidizes and it causes magnetic particles to form in the system, also known as magnetite. Now what this does is it actually attaches to system pipework, heat exchangers, ECMs, causes them to block, overwork and crack. Eventually it can lead to boiler failures. So we've got a 3 simple step solution to preventing corrosion in new systems and counteracting it in retrofit systems. So we've got cleaners that are designed to dislodge and lift magnetite and scale from system components, metal components, allowing them to be easily flushed out of the system. We then have this product here, which is the MagnaCleanse. So this is designed to work with our magnetic filters, so you can hook it up to the valves and you can flush the system on a bypass sort of run. And that means that you only have to drain the system once at the end, and all of the magnetite is captured on the magnet as the system is flushing the water through. You've got transparent hoses here, so you can actually see when the water is completely clean. This is our most popular residential filter in North America. This is our Pro 2 XP. It comes with 1-inch compression and 1.25 inch MPT adapters. It has a flow rate of 21 GPM, so it's perfect for boilers up to 300,000 BTUs. These are actually 360-degree isolation valves. So to service the filter, you would simply isolate the valves, release the pressure from the top. Inside here is the actual magnet, so the magnet is underneath the sleeve. The reason for this is simply for easier servicing. So the magnetite captures on here, and when you take that out, you just take it over to a sink and rinse it off, and you're good to go again. The beauty with this is that you can see inside all of the canisters, so you know when it's completely clear of magnetite and scale. And then we've got inhibitors for the system as well. So the final step is to protect the system. So the inhibitors actually provide a coating on system components to prevent any future scale of magnetite buildup. And it also balances pH, so it's got buffers in it that will prevent the water from becoming acidic or alkaline. We also have testing products, so obviously the key first step to any of this process is testing the water quality, so diagnosing the problem, finding out what is actually wrong with that system. So we have got some tools that test for magnetite, that test for corrosion, and you can also test for inhibitor levels as well. So yeah, basically our key message is counteract corrosion with our 3 simple step process: test, clean, protect. And I will pass you over to Doug for the
Thank you very much, Antonia. Yeah. I'll give a basic overview on this demo rig here to explain what it is Antonio is addressing and what we're trying to get out of the system. We talk about magnetite, sometimes you call it sludge. Really what it is it's a black iron oxide. Black iron oxide is magnetic. So the founder of the company, Chris Adey, discovered the magnetic properties of this long ago and realized that we could get this black magnetite flowing through every system susceptible to corrosion, so we can get it out of the system using a magnetic filter. Antonia demonstrated how easy it is to service. We really pride ourselves on that. It has the contractor in mind at all times. Really the goal is to protect the more expensive components. So instead of replacing a pump every couple years or a few months, it's a small investment to protect those more expensive components. So it's really the principle that goes behind all of our designs and all of our products. We have everything from the residential products that Antonia took you through all the way to our commercial products, which we're going to find a way to get to right now. Come along with me.
Sorry.
That's right. Should I change my shoes and put a little cardigan on? So this is really a demonstration of our entire commercial line. The largest of our commercial filters goes up to 8-inch. Again, we have service in mind. Simple lifting ring. You can lift the rod to demagnetize the system. First, of course, you'd use isolation valves to shut it off, just like with the residential. You lift the rod to demagnetize. Everything collected then is in the body here. There's drain ports on the bottom. Simply flush the system. Return the magnets into their home position. Continue flow. So again, that's the commercial line. The next, well, these are all commercial, but that is the MagnaClean commercial. This is the DRX. Again, easy service in mind. A little more flexibility with this unit because you can mount it vertically and horizontally. If you want to come around here, I'll show you the servicing. Again, very easy. Basically, these are clipped in when they're engaged. So you simply unclip, suspend the magnets. The nice thing about this, you don't actually have to take the magnets off. Similar to the commercial unit, there's other solutions out there where you have to actually take the entire lid off with all the magnets, which can be a pain, and it's extra effort that's not needed in our solution. So again, up here on the DRX, same thing, isolation valves. Everybody here, there's a drain on the other side, but once you suspend the magnets, all the magnetite you captured is now suspended, and you can drain it out of the system. Return the magnets, continue the flow, you're on your way. Drum roll, the big announcement here at AHR Expo is the launch and release of our CMX filter. This really completes our commercial line because now we have dual filtration capability for both magnetic and non-magnetic material because we have a cartridge filter added around the magnet. So just a quick overview. In fact, I can show you a little more detail on the CMX. What you see inside of that CMX, this is the cartridge filter I was talking about. So you can capture, again, non-magnetic debris in addition to the magnetic debris. These cartridge filters come in different micron levels to capture different sizes of particles. Most of what we capture you can't even see with the naked eye. This off. Slides right off. Easy peasy. Put that back here. This is the CMX line is very adaptive. This is a clamshell magnetic jacket. It's very easy to put on and take off for servicing. And that's the product we're excited to announce.
So you can find more about it on our website, which is www.adey.com/US. We're also on Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook. So you can just search Adey North America, or our Instagram name is Adey_NA. So if you follow us on there, you can keep updated. We do also have a newsletter sign-up page on our website, and we do send out a monthly e-newsletter with product spotlights, blogs that we've written on corrosion. So yeah, please visit there and get signed up.
Good afternoon, everyone. Eric Kaiser here from AHR 2022, HVAC School. We are live today at the ProCon booth talking about a new company that's coming to the United States from the UK. And Graham, I'd like you to introduce your company a little bit. Tell us what you guys are about.
Absolutely. So I'm Graham Jordan. I'm the Managing Director of ProCon. ProCon, we're part of the Hillmore Group, huge company globally. So ProCon, we're based in the UK, just south of Oxford. We manufacture gas safety equipment, measuring toxic and flammable gases. We sell globally, so we've got a lot of experience of that. We've got portable detectors, fixed detectors, engineered fixed systems, so we do a lot in the gas detection environment. We've been doing it for over 50 years, so quite experienced. And we're looking to move some of our products and work with our markets in the US.
That's fantastic, yeah, so I'm kind of excited. There's a couple products in here that I've already seen that I'm really excited to show you guys. There's some neat stuff here.
Brilliant, great, yeah, absolutely.
So, anything else, or should we turn it over to Dominic?
Because Dom's our product specialist in HVAC.
All right.
He'll be able to take us through one of our products that we're probably about a third of the market in the UK. Over 20 years experience with our HVAC flue gas analysis products. So,
ooh.
Yeah.
I'm going to go over here and nerd out with Dom for a little bit.
You do that. I think I'll certainly learn something.
Sounds good.
Hopefully.
Dom, what do you have for us today?
Okay, so what we're really pushing here at AHR, Eric, is the Sprint Pro Combustion Analyzer.
Okay.
So we've got one here set up in an environment that maybe some of the contractors that view the HVAC School podcast might be familiar with.
Yeah.
So increasingly in the market, we're seeing the introduction of high efficiency appliances.
Absolutely.
So this is a high efficiency boiler here from Adey, a high efficiency furnace. And these products cannot be installed without a combustion analyzer. So something that might have been seen as an optional tool in the past is now seen as something mission critical. And without one in the tool bag, HVAC contractors cannot perform certain functions. They cannot work with certain appliances. So to really be able to offer value to their customers, we'd encourage all contractors to, if they haven't got one already, get one of these tools. You know, they're very critical.
Even on older appliances that aren't the high efficiency where they're required, they're still a really, really good idea.
Yeah, exactly right. So what we've got here is the Sprint Pro. So if I just bring this into you, and you can have a little look. So we've been selling this for about 4 or 5 years in the UK, and we're the market leader. We've got about a 35% market share in that territory, and we're really proud of that fact. And the reason we've done so well with that, Eric, is because it's a pretty good product, and I'd like to tell you a little bit about it.
Go for it.
Okay.
I'm excited to learn about this. There's some really cool stuff in here that I've already seen.
Okay, so we've got some good stuff in here. So first of all, there's a few key sort of values. The first one is it's not just a combustion analyzer. It's a true multi-tool experience for the contractor. So they're getting efficiency and value. It's many tools in one. So yes, it's a combustion analyzer. We've got the probe here. We've got it in the flue, and of course it does your combustion analysis. But it's also a manometer. So you've got your pressure terminals on the bottom here, and you can do let-by testing, draft pressure testing, differential pressure testing. There's a full suite of pressure testing functionality in there.
What kind of range are you talking about on that pressure?
I think it goes to about 2.1 millibars.
Okay.
So it's quite a...
How about inches of water column? I can't convert that in my head.
I can't either, so I'd have to get back to you.
Okay, we might have to convert that and let everybody know.
So we've got some of that. We'll have to convert it and let them know. You put that in on the bottom, like a little ticker tape or something. So we've got a full suite of pressure measurement there. You've also then got temperature. So you've got the terminals here. This one is connected to the probe, which would give you the temperature of the flue. But also you can use these and connect different clamps and probes to do differential pressure measurement. You could do it clamp it on a flow and return pipe or something and see the differences there.
So just standard K-type
standard
connector?
K-type connector, compatible with any K-type probe.
Gotcha.
We do sell a selection of accessory probes, of course, for clamp, liquid binder and things like that, but they will work with any K-type connector probe. So you've got that on there as well.
Very nice.
The other thing that's a little bit unique with this one is it does gas leak detection. So it's got a built-in sniffer. If I just grab this and come over, so this is part of the kit as well, connects into the side, and you now have flammable gas leak detection.
Very nice.
So you've got an LED light on the end there. I think in the trade, do your guys call them sniffers, perhaps?
Yep, typically we call it a gas sniffer, a flammable gas sniffer.
Flammable gas sniffer, that's built in as well. So you can use that to run it along your pipework or whatever, and if you have established there's a leak, you can find it with this. So that's great as well. Full colour display on there, of course, which again, when you're doing that gas leak detection, you get a bar graph on there that shows you in yellow through to red, so you get that visual indication as to how strong the leak is. And again, when you're just doing flue gas tests, if it's wrong, it'll be red. If it's not great, it'll be yellow. So you do have colour coding on there to make it really obvious.
Are those colours adjustable for various levels? Or is that all preset in?
It is preset.
It's all preset.
The idea is to make it simple for the contractor, especially if someone's not familiar with this device. It makes it a little bit easier to know that, hold on, that's red. Something's not right. So, but they're set at reasonable levels that cover most instances that they'll come across.
Now, how many gases will that handle for typical flue gas detection?
Okay, so in flue gas detection, as standard, we do 6 different models.
Okay.
They all have oxygen in there. They all have CO in there, and they all calculate CO2. So you're going to get CO, CO2, and oxygen, no matter what model you choose. We do a few kind of higher end models. They have NO sensors in that allow you to do NO, NO2, and NOx from the one sensor.
Yep, which are very important in some models and some appliances.
Yeah, exactly right. And in some circumstances where air quality is a factor, you want to get that NO reading in there as well.
So they're also accurate enough to do air quality readings with the nitrogen oxides and things like that.
It's a very accurate sensor, so that's good. And you can also get a dedicated CO2 sensor. Now, when you do a flue gas test, it's calculated from the ratio of CO and O2.
Okay.
But there are instances where you might want to do an ambient room test. So one of the other features this product has is it can do ambient room testing. So you can set it to run for an hour or 15 minutes, however long you want it to run for, and you set how often you want it to take a sample, and it'll tell you the peak level and the average.
So it'll data log that over whatever period of time to tell you how much CO2 is in the room.
Well, which is CO normally, all CO.
Yeah, and all CO.
But the one that has a dedicated CO2 sensor can do that as well.
Oh, okay. So it's looking at all the levels in the room all the time. Okay. Well, that's pretty useful. Yeah, I can see that.
So there's quite a few things in there. You've got a lot of sensor options. You've got all these various tests. So it really is a true multi-tool. So that's one of the key values. The other things we've done is we've made it, we know that an engineer needs this tool, a contractor needs this tool to operate, to make money. Mm-hmm. So any downtime is not a good thing. So the first thing is this is really robust. So obviously it's drop tested, it's impact tested, it's made from the same material as motorcycle crash helmets. So it really can take a beating, which in some of the environments that contractors work is a good thing.
Well, yeah, we're not easy on our tools, believe me. And when you're talking about spending a chunk of money on something like that, you want it to be durable.
You want it to be durable, so it's very, very durable. If we look at this, and the main cause of damage that you get on any combustion analyzer is water ingress.
Right.
These flues, there's a lot of noxious gas in there. Moisture is a byproduct of the combustion process, and it's in there, and you're sucking this into the device via a pump. So you are going to suck in some level of condensation. It happens.
We don't want that in our sensors.
We don't want that in our sensors. If it goes in our sensors, they're toast.
Right, exactly.
And then that's downtime while you get them fixed. So we've really got to double down on stopping any water ingress if this is going to have longevity and if it's going to work well for the contractor. So what we've done here is we've come up with what we call our triple filter hydrophobic protection system. So what we've got in here is, first of all, the water trap is big, It's again impact resistant, so it won't crack if it gets knocked around on things. It's not going to crack or break there. It's impact resistant. It's in your eye line, so when you're actually using the device, you can see it. You know, there are other devices out there where you can't see this. It's hidden in a handle. It's hidden in the device. You need to consciously make the effort to see what's in there. Ours, it's really apparent if anything's going on in there. You've got a dust filter in there. You've got a 3-micron filter in there as well, so that's a specific hydrophobic filter that's tailored to not let water through, and that's a 3-micron, so really fine holes on there that allow the gas to flow but not the water. And then at the point where it joins the device here, our positive click connector, you've got an extra filter in there as well. So there's 3 stages of filtration, and we've got intelligent algorithms that detect the flow rate of the pump. So if this does fill with water, you don't notice, you don't empty it. If it does eventually overcome the filters, this will detect a change in flow rate, and what it'll do is it'll shut off the pump. It'll beep up a bright orange warning on the screen saying, blockage detected, check your water trap and filters. So since we've launched this new model, we haven't had a single model returned to us with water ingress damage.
That's a big thing. I mean, as someone who's done a lot of combustion analysis, I've destroyed sensors before in water, so I really like that feature in there. I really love this connection on the back of the pump too, where that's a positive connection in here, so it's not just a hose sliding onto a barb. Like it's not going to come off of there, so you can pull on that and it stays in there really well.
You're exactly right in that. We designed this because one of the feedback we had from the market was contractors were telling us that, you know, over time, you lose elasticity in that rubber, and if you're just using a basic spigot and it's going on and off all the time, it gets to the point where it won't stay on. It's slipping off, it might not be fully on properly, and you're getting a little bit of extra air in there which will distort your readings.
Or if it falls off halfway through the test, you've
got to start again.
Right.
You've just wasted your time, and you know, time is money, I guess, to your guys. You know, they want to be efficient.
Something like that,
Something like that, yeah. So this ensures that you get that really true positive connection. It's perfect connection every time. You're not going to have those issues.
So what about battery life on this? It looks like it's a rechargeable battery to me.
It is. It's a rechargeable battery, so you don't have to take separate batteries and have the hassle of swapping that. Fully rechargeable. It uses USB-C. So it's an up-to-date charging connector that's readily available. Obviously, we supply a charger in the box, but if you're caught short, it's not hard to come across one of these USB-C type chargers.
Yeah, easy to find that in the market today.
But it's a big capacity battery. We've actually got a very high capacity. Brain freeze isn't telling me the exact capacity, but I know that when we did the analysis, we do have more capacity than all of the other analyzers out there. So we've got a really big.
So you got a significant amount of runtime on this as well.
Very, very much so.
Right, because that's a pain to get halfway into a test and all of a sudden the battery's dead.
That's right, Eric. It's also Bluetooth.
Okay.
So you've got numerous ways to get your data off of this device. You can store between 500 and 1,000 reports in the memory of the device itself.
Okay.
You can recall them in that memory and obviously handwrite your certificate if that's how the contractor operates. Or you can send it via infrared to our printer. So send it to this and it'll print the report out. So that's another way of getting the data off.
Yep.
Or you can turn on Bluetooth and send it into our mobile app. We've got an app on iOS, we've got an app on Android. If you send it across to that, you're able to add your company logo, you're able to add your company address, all that kind of stuff. You can use the touchscreen to add a handwritten signature, and then you can store, email, or PDF those reports, whatever you want to do. And finally, you can use that USB-C connection not just to charge, but it's also a data port. So you can connect to a laptop, and on that laptop, you can again transfer your data over, and you can add the header, everything you can do on the app, you can also do on the PC. So PC, app, Bluetooth print, or just the memory of the device itself. So I think we're reasonably
all kinds of different ways to get that data.
We've covered a lot of bases, Eric.
Yeah.
You know, we've tried to do our best there.
Absolutely.
Well, so I mean, the device.
Yeah. Now, I think you got some other stuff over here you're going to show us that this is another really big feature, guys, that I'm really interested in this analyzer here because of this next piece.
Okay. So what I'd like to show you here, I guess we can talk about the orange bits first. We do have some portable gas detection here, just as a slight offshoot. So these are portable monitors that would be clipped onto a belt or a shirt pocket or whatever you want to do. And what they do is they're just detecting gas that's in your surrounding, and they are a personal protection device. So this one, for example, it's a single gas unit, and you've got a carbon monoxide sensor in there. So if you are a contractor, I strongly recommend you have one of these. You are working in environments, you're working in basements, you're working in plant rooms, they often don't have great ventilation. If the appliance is kicking out some CO or there's a leak, it will build up in that area, and you might not know it because it's odorless. You can't taste it, you can't smell it, you don't know, you just get very ill very quickly.
Correct.
So something like this.
From personal experience, I've had these go off in places where I've walked into. Anybody who's working around a combustion appliance should be wearing a personal monitoring device.
You really should.
Even in hotel rooms, I've had them go off in automobiles. I carry one on myself all the time. A lot of you may have seen me walking around with a backpack here in the show, and I've got a little orange detector very similar to that hangs on my backpack. Right now, it's sitting over at the booth, but I carry it a lot of places.
Yeah. So we of course, as a safety brand, have these, and we do multiple gas detectors as well, so a bit bigger, but these ones have multiple sensors. So again, you've got the carbon monoxide, but you're looking at H2S, flammable gas, and this is our Gas Pro. It's a pumped unit, so you can take samples do pre-entry checks. You know, if you're in a manhole or something, you can put a pump down there, and you can get that pre-entry check going on.
Before you go into the space to make sure that it's safe.
Yeah, so we've got a range of stuff like that, which we would highly recommend if someone is working in a confined space.
Yeah.
So let's go on to the main event then.
Oh, this is a game changer right here.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
We're really proud of this one, Eric. So, with combustion analyzers, they have to be calibrated each year. The sensors in them do degrade over time. There's numerous factors as to why. Sometimes it's how often they're used. Sometimes it's how much of a beating they take, you know, how much CO is passed over them. But even if you never used it, over that year, just with the air, they do react. The electrolyte is consumed or dries out, and they do lose sensitivity over time. So each year they have to be calibrated.
Right, because they're an electrochemical sensor, they go bad.
They go bad.
It's going to happen.
It happens. It's not one of these, if you don't use it, it won't happen. Even if you don't use it, it happens because it reacts with the air.
Right.
So it will degrade. It does need to be calibrated each year to be accurate. If you don't calibrate, it's not accurate, then you may well be liable if something goes wrong. So it's really important to do that. Now, the calibration process traditionally is quite complicated. It's something that you need an engineer, a contractor, they will have to send it off somewhere to be calibrated.
Right, normally they have to send it to the manufacturer or a third party to get it calibrated.
Manufacturer or third party to get it calibrated. So you're not going to have that device in your hand, and you're not going to be able to use it for a week, 2 weeks, in extreme cases 6 to 8 weeks. So you could be without it for quite some time.
Yeah.
That manufacturer performs this calibration process and gets it back to you. We've developed something that we call the auto cal jig. So this is a really clever bit of engineering that effectively automates that process and makes it much more streamlined and much quicker. So your gas is connected to it, your device is connected to it via this umbilical, and you connect it to a PC which drives the process. At the click of a button, it will run it fully automated fashion. It does it in about 5 to 7 minutes, depending on how many sensors the device has. It takes minimal interaction from the engineer performing the process, and then at the end you realise if you've passed or failed. If you've passed, happy days, off you go. If you've failed, it might need a sensor swap or something, and then you do it again. So we've made the process easy, but what we're doing is we're allowing these automatic calibration jigs to be installed with our partners, our suppliers. So we've got them at our Kentucky HQ, but we've also got them out there in the field.
Right.
So they're local to engineers.
So rather than sending that back, say if your distributor has this at their location, you can walk in there, plug this in, 20 minutes later, you're out the door down the road with a new certificate in your hand?
It's exactly right. So what you can do now...
That's a game changer.
It's very different. Yeah. We're quite pleased with what we're doing here. We're trying to disrupt the market a little bit. We're trying to make the lives of contractors easier. We want the device in their hands as much as possible. So the idea here is exactly that. If you bought this from a distributor local to you, you can go back to the distributor and they'll either have one on site, which you could use there and then, or if they don't, they'll have one in their distribution centre. So you hand it over to them, they'll send it there, it's calibrated the next day, you'll have it back within a couple of days.
Nice.
So it's either same day or a couple of days, depending on how local you are to the jig.
So could a large contractor even purchase one of these and put that in their facility as well if they have enough analyzers in their fleet?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
Okay, so there you go. That answers
if you're
that
a big
question.
contractor and you've got a lot of these units, then yeah, come and talk to us, and yeah, we could get one of these installed so they'd be able to run it themselves.
And
we do that in other territories.
Yeah, that's pretty fantastic. I'm really impressed with that feature right there.
That's right. And the final thing I wanted to just talk to you about, just
a couple of other new things that are coming up in the future.
So, probably not the best thing, but I'll go soon. We're extending our range. So coming soon, we've got 3 pressure meters that we're going to be launching. So these are standalone manometers. We've got an entry-level one here. We've got a step-up one that has the same button configuration as the Sprint Pro. It has the same menu structure as the Sprint Pro, and this is also Bluetooth and infrared. So it will send those pressure reports into the app, like the Sprint Pro does. It will also send it to the printer, like the Sprint Pro does. And then we've got an industrial version with a higher range sensor, and it's also got industrial connectors. We've got some flow rate measuring cups. We've got some standalone gas sniffing devices, and we've got an ambient CO2 detector. So we've got a range of other devices that are coming soon. We're also launching, very finally, we're also going to be launching a range of accessories for the Sprint Pro itself. So we've already shown the printer, but we've got lots of different probes, pressure valves, liquid binder probes, surface temperature, bent flue probes. We've got something here for flueless appliances, so if you've got a cooker or a barbecue or a fire in the house that is flueless, we've got special probes so that you can get an accurate reading from a flueless appliance, so that's coming as well.
Very
so
nice.
There's quite a few things there.
Yeah, that's impressive. Well, thank you very much for your time today, and I've enjoyed standing here learning a little bit about this. Anything else you want to tell our listeners and viewers out there today? Where can they find out more about this online or something like that if they want to?
So there's a couple of places you can go. So there's www.ProCon.com. That's our main global site. So that's one place to go. And we've also got a dedicated site for just this product in America.
Okay.
And that's www.sprintprousa.com. That's the best places to go to find out more or to contact any of us on the team.
Awesome. Dom, thank you very much. This has been Eric Kaiser for the HVAC School podcast. Thanks for watching.
These two are going to have a competition of getting 4 screws in first with this magnetic nut driver by DiversiTech.
Ready? Set. Go.
I believe it's 8 screws in 2 different spots, actually.
Oh.
Woo!
Hello, I'm Brent Lammert with Hike Micro, and we're here with Bill Spohn from TruTech.
Hi, Brent. Hello. HVAC School Land.
Yes.
Good to be with you here.
We're super excited at AHR. We're having a great day in Las Vegas, and we're happy to bring you some of our technology. And what we're showing at Hike Micro is thermal imaging cameras that are small enough, affordable enough, and easy to use so that any technician can have thermal imaging in their tool bag to be able to go out and find electrical and mechanical and building envelope problems. Technicians traditionally have used what kind of technology, Bill?
A lot of them might use infrared thermometers.
Right.
So you think of this sort of like a single eye. How many of these equivalents are inside that display?
Inside of this, 49,000.
49,000 of these that measure one spot of temperature. And there's also some issues with this if you don't use it properly, like the laser dot. Does that measure anything?
The laser dot just points you in the right direction.
Okay.
It does not bounce back and give you temperature.
And this is an optical device just like this is, but as you move it in and out, what does it do to the area I'm seeing?
So with this one, it's a 16-to-1, meaning if I'm 16 feet away, I'm not measuring that single dot, I'm measuring a 1-foot circle and an average in that.
So like that's 16 inches away.
I'm going to measure a full spot, a full 1-inch spot, and it's going to be completely averaged in that.
And 32 inches away?
We're going to double that to 2 inch.
Keep on going and going.
Until you get to a beach ball or bigger, right? So if we look at an electrical fault, we might be looking at something that's only a 1/4 of an inch. Well, how close do I need to be? I need to be right on top of it. And with a fault inside of there, with the IR thermometer, I've got to check every single potential connection, versus with an infrared camera, I instantly see which one of these is warm, and I can measure that temperature to determine, is it a problem I need to fix right now, or is it a problem that I need to fix next outage, or just monitor?
At a distance too, which for electrical, if there's safety factors and issues like that.
We're very excited to introduce a brand new pocket form factor, high resolution, high performance, but very affordable and easy to use. This is our new Pocket 2. It's roughly $600 coming into the market this month, fits into your pocket or into your tool bag, and gives you that power and ease of use to put thermal in all your technicians' hands.
Absolutely, and there's a fine array of other products here in the more typical pistol grip. This starts at $349, I believe.
Correct.
This is in the $500 range, and this is in the $2,000 range. And each one of these brings in additional features of resolution, thermal resolution, picture resolution. It allows you to do a better job if you need it. But thermal is really important. It's a really great, quick diagnostic. Anyone can use it. You need some training, right?
Absolutely. Like using any of your other meters, you don't just pick it up and assume a measurement. It's something you want to learn from others. I don't think everyone needs a full level 1 certification unless they're doing thermographic surveys, but they absolutely need to know what they're doing to get good measurements and the most use out of that investment, like they do with all of their tools.
And Brent's got how many years? 25 years in the industry?
Roughly,
so
yeah.
We'll be having him on a webinar at TruTech Tools.
Awesome.
So anybody who uses any thermal imager should watch this webinar. We'll put it on our channel, share it on HVAC School. Make sure you understand the tool you're using, just like a lot of tools, as Brent said.
Awesome. One last thing that we want to announce is we have some AHR show special pricing. We'll get in right here. Available at TruTech Tools. So you can get an extra up to $100 off of a camera at TruTech Tools. They're all in stock and available. Take advantage of those codes. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Hello everyone out there in the HVAC School land. Eric Kaiser here again for HVAC School, coming to you live from AHR 2022 in Las Vegas. I am here at the Milwaukee tool booth, in case you couldn't tell by the large amounts of red behind us. And I'm here with Alec, who's going to show us some cool new products that they have out for HVAC technicians to use in the field today. Alec, thanks very much for having us here.
Yeah, thanks for stopping by the booth. So
Awesome.
Let's go ahead and get started. So one of the big things that we're trying to show off today, we just launched a 1-inch jaw for our M12 press tool. So now this 1-inch jaw is now going to it's pretty much the missing piece to make this a full comprehensive residential installation tool. So it's going to allow you to do all the way up to 1 1/4 inch copper. It's going to allow you to do all the way up to 1 1/2 inch PEX. And now with the new 1-inch size, it's going to let you do 1/2 inch up to 1 inch black iron pipe and stainless steel.
So that's in plumbing sizes for the copper, stainless steel, black iron. What about refrigeration fittings on this tool?
Yeah, so we don't make jaws specifically for refrigeration on this tool, but the tool is compatible with some of the leading systems that are out there. So RLS makes a compact press jaw that will fit on this tool, and that will cover from sizes 1/4 inch all the way up through 1 3/8 inch.
So that's kind of like an all-in-one residential tool right there for everything if you're already using the RLS press fittings kit for the refrigeration fittings. So
absolutely.
That's kind of a neat feature that I thought, hey, it's all in one. I don't have to have 3 different press tools now if I want to use those.
Exactly. And if you're trying to install multiple systems throughout a house, you're not having to bring a threader, a torch, and a press tool or a PEX hand tool to the job site. It's now just one tool in the jaws that you need for the different material systems.
Switch out the jaws. That's pretty cool. So real quick, show us here. I've never actually used a steel press tool. Why don't you show me how fast and easy it is to press a piece of steel black iron pipe into a fitting?
Absolutely. We'll go ahead and do it. So all you need to do is press down on the jaw, go ahead and make sure that the fitting is seated properly in the jaw, and then just press and hold the trigger. There you go.
So that's a black iron pipe fitting. Now, before we do that, we didn't highlight it here, but what do you have to do to prep the ends of that pipe before you can put that fitting on there and expect it to seal well?
Absolutely. Now, every fitting manufacturer is going to have a different installation instruction, so I would highly recommend you always consult that first. But generally, what contractors are instructed to do is ream bolt the inside and the outside of the pipe prior to actually making a connection.
So basically just put a little bit of a chamfer on that edge so that we're not, we don't want to chew up the O-rings as we're sliding the fitting on the outside.
Exactly.
And we want to have a smooth edge in here so that we're not affecting the flow of the gas or the liquid as it's going through the inside.
Correct.
Pretty simple out there. I mean, it's things we should all be doing anyhow. Now we can do it faster.
Yep.
All right, so what else do you have for us today?
Yeah, let's hop around to this side. And this time, we're looking at our M18 Force Logic press tool with one key. And what we're really trying to highlight today, we have jaws compatible with Mueller's ACR refrigeration line of fittings. It's Mueller Streamline ACR. And this will go from sizes 1/4 inch all the way up to 1 1/8 inch. And we're the exclusive provider of the jaws and the tools to install those fittings.
So that's a pretty neat fitting. I'd never seen this fitting before. It's a little bit different than a lot of the other fittings out there.
Yeah. So it has a double O-ring, but it's still a single press.
So it's actually got a triple jaw in the press that presses on all three, on the outside of both of those and in the middle between those O-rings.
Absolutely. We can go ahead and take a look at the jaw and how the fitting sits properly right into the grooves of the jaw.
So it's really easy to align. I mean, that's kind of hard to screw up on alignment. That's what I see a lot of fittings do. You know, a lot of people that when the first time they use a press, they will maybe misalign that fitting in the jaw and not press it properly.
Right.
So that kind of makes it a little more foolproof, and that double O-ring in there is nice too.
Absolutely.
Very
So
cool. Very
it's
cool.
a flameless, faster, and consistent method or alternative to braze connections.
Nice. And that's only in the M18 then?
Only M18.
Okay, cool. Yep. And what other kind of jaws will that tool work with? Is that just for the Mueller ACR jaws?
No, great question. This tool has jaws that will go all the way up to 2 inch for copper and rings that will take you all the way up to 4 inch. For black iron pipe and stainless steel, it will have jaws that go up to 1 inch and rings that go up to 2. And then for PEX, we have jaws that go all the way up to 2 inches as well.
So that's a pretty wide range tool right there.
Wide range, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. All right, well that's very cool. Now you got some more stuff. Let's take a look at the one key feature, which you mentioned in this, and I want to walk over here. I want to have you show me a little bit more about that because
Absolutely.
It's a pretty neat feature in the tools with regards to security, and that's a big thing today with tools getting stolen or damaged or something like that.
Yes.
So this is a pretty cool feature.
So this is a feature that's standard on all of our one key tools. But as a theft deterrent, what I can do is I can go ahead and connect to this press tool and say I'm done with the job for the day and I want to go ahead and leave this in a job box or the back of my van or wherever else. What I can do is go ahead and flip this switch and it's now locked out. So this tool, if someone were to try and steal this, it would essentially be a brick tool. Not useful to them whatsoever.
So it's no good until you bring your phone back that's got it connected to your tool and your account, and then you reactivate it the next day or the next week, whatever, when you come back to that job site.
Correct. Yep. So I'll go ahead and unlock this again, so it's now usable. And now another feature that I want to highlight, and this is specific to press, but every single time that you connect to the One Key app, the tool is going to send all the press data to the phone. So this is an extra verification that your tool is operating properly for every single cycle that you make with the tool. It also has a service counter, so this is going to tell you how many cycles you can make with this press tool before you'll need to have it sent back in to have it serviced and have that calibration interval reset.
Right, because we're trying to press these down for very specific times. It does need to go back in periodically and be recalibrated and reworked a little bit.
It does. Yep. So for this
great
tool,
information.
It's 50,000 cycles.
That's a lot of presses.
It is. It definitely is.
So you were showing me another feature on this too, that you can actually tell from data back that you get back from that tool whether or not the press you just made was accurate, right?
That is correct. So what we'll do is we'll hop into the usage history, and this will allow you to filter all of your press data by day, week, and month, so you can see for every single cycle made on the tool if the tool operated properly. So if it operated properly, you're going to get a green check mark, and if any of the variables in the press tool. So we have a proprietary algorithm. The tool's taking a ton of factors into consideration to determine if the press is good or bad. So I should specify that the tool operated properly.
As it was intended to operate.
As it was intended, correct. Yep. And if one of those variables is out, it's going to give you a red X so that you can go back and take better notice of the fitting or the connection that you just made. And when you go back and do your pressure testing, that you make sure that you kind of take a look at that area and just make sure that there's nothing out of the ordinary and everything's proper.
Very nice, very nice.
Yep.
All right, now, a couple more things. Very cool over here. You got a new vise that you just showed me. This is pretty neat.
So this is a product that's in a category that really hasn't seen a lot of change in 30, 40 years. And so we're actually just about to start shipping these. So this is our 6-inch leveling tripod chain vise. And it's going to offer unmatched portability and lifelong steadiness. And I'll kind of get into what I mean by that. So first off, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pack this up and show you that we have a briefcase style transportation. So it's a balanced carry handle. So I can carry this right at my side.
Wow, that's pretty cool. Because I know my chain vise is not that easy to carry.
And now it's got the quickest painless setup. So no pinch points. My hand is back on the handle and the latch to open it up. And then finally, we have stable lock, which allows you to adjust the tension out of the stand, because as pipe stands wear and they're abused oftentimes throughout the job, things will start to loosen up. It starts to get wobbly, right?
Yeah, they get a little wobbly and move around a little bit more.
All you have to do is just tighten this up, and you have a stable pipe stand again.
Very nice. And it looks like that leg is adjustable on that side, so if the surface is unlevel, you're still keeping a much more level surface up here. You're not trying to work off at an angle.
Great call out. And so this is actually the only 6-inch capacity stand that gives you the capability to level the stand. And it will allow you to pitch it 3 degrees in both directions.
Very cool. And you said 6-inch capacity, so that'll handle some pretty big pipe on there for most contractors.
Absolutely.
I mean, if you're getting bigger than 6-inch, you're probably going to have a lot bigger tools than that.
Yep.
Anyways, so yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay, and to go along with this, because normally pipe stands go along with threaders, you guys have a new threader out too, right?
We do, and I'm actually going to have one of my counterparts help out with showing you guys our new compact threader.
All right. So this is a compact threader, and this goes up to what size?
So this will go up to 1 1/4 inch. And are you able to actually make a thread for us?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Perfect. So you guys are going to get to see this in action. But it's paired with our new die heads that we just released as well.
And it looks like that's got 1 key on it as well.
Yes.
So I don't know if you want to feel the weight difference here. So this is the rigid cast iron. This is our new forged aluminum military grade.
That's a pretty significant weight difference as somebody who's thrown around a pipe die or two in his day.
So I'll go ahead and start the demonstration. So to start it off, so normally in the industry, you got to press your hand up against that die while it's moving. What we have is this grip right here. All you got to do is apply some pressure. Get that thread started. So now it's on. Free up my hand for some oiling. All right, let me back it off.
I don't know about anybody watching out there, but that beats my hand threader all to heck.
Oh, that's right.
I've done a lot of hand threading on pipe, on different jobs, and boy, that's a whole lot easier right there.
Absolutely, yeah.
So
only 14.3 pounds. That's with the battery pack and with the die head as well.
Oh, very nice, very nice. Well, Alec, I appreciate you showing me around today.
Yep.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Thanks for stopping by.
Hey, this is Caleb with HVAC School, and I'm here with Nikki Kruger at Santa Fe. How you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you, Caleb?
I'm doing great. So we're over here at the booth. We're in AHR 2022, and so we've got a couple of new things here and some things that we want to set straight for our viewers. Is that right?
Sure, absolutely. Yes, that'd
Awesome.
be great. Santa Fe Indoor Air Quality Solutions, which is also new. So a lot of you know us as Santa Fe Dehumidifiers, but we've actually expanded our offerings because our dehumidifiers are far more than just moisture control. We've got MERV 13 filtration, and our whole house ventilating dehumidifiers also can do to ventilation of the home as well. So many of you also know us probably as Ultra Air dehumidifiers, but in the last year we've combined the two brands, which Santa Fe was our standalone for crawl space and basement, and Ultra Air was our whole house. We brought them both together underneath one brand to make it easier for our contractors when they're talking to customers about residential dehumidifiers. Doesn't matter if you're below the home, in the home, or above the home, we've got the solution for you. So a very exciting show for us this year. Of course, we have our in-wall dehumidifier, which although we've had out for a little while now, always is brings in a crowd because it is very unique. So it's an in-wall dehumidifier that fits into 16-inch on center stud walls, and this would be the cover for the unit. Ideal for multifamily applications, but we're also seeing a lot of them put into basements as well, finished basements, or maybe a storage area where maybe you're keeping your golf clubs, ski equipment, something like that, where you might want to protect that area a little bit more than the rest of the house. So great product.
This particular product, for those listeners and those watching who know Corbett Lunsford, and I helped him install one of these.
That's
and he
right.
has it in his own home.
That's right.
Yes.
Yep.
So if you guys want to see a real life like case study and application for this particular product, you can go to his channel and check out. They're awesome. Honestly, it really is a sleek design.
Well, in any ductless mini split applications where we don't have ductwork in the house to maybe integrate the whole house dehumidifier, we're seeing this going into some passive house net zero applications where they are just tiny homes. Perfect. Speaking of ductless mini split, we are seeing a lot of our dehumidifiers going into these ductless mini split homes to be able to provide the fresh air, the dedicated dehumidification, the high efficiency filtration, and also to be able to get some air moving throughout the entire home so we don't create stagnant pockets when what we see in some of those ductless mini split applications as well. So the dehumidifier would just need its own ductwork, which would be a dedicated return, and then a couple supplies coming off into the house. So more and more popular, we're actually seeing those applications. So,
awesome.
New this at the show, we just launching here. It is a light commercial ceiling HEPA air purification system. So what's really unique about this one is most of the ones on the market are designed for clean rooms. So they're a little bit more expensive, and a lot of those are designed to be maintained from the top, so you have to go up into the ceiling in order to maintain it. What's unique about this one is it can be maintained from in the space. So if I lift this up here, you'll see a pre-filter, and then we've got the ceiling HEPA filter right here, and there's just a little holder here with these little tabs as well that can be pulled, and so this unit is completely serviceable from inside of the room.
Wow.
And we've got two fan box sizes. So we've got, this is called the mini one right down here. Do you want me to pull it out?
Sure.
This is the mini one right here. So this one will do about 275 CFM. And is really more of an ideal for smaller rooms. And then the standard unit has two supplies coming off of it. So, and that one is 515 CFM for that one.
Gotcha. So just depending on the volume of the room and the use case scenario.
Exactly.
Yep.
So it has its own ductwork. It's usually above a drop ceiling. This just replaces one of the 2x2 tiles. And then you would have two supplies in that room as well. Now, we did have someone the other day say that they have homeowners with very high sensitivities. And so they looked at it as, well, if I could put this in the hallway, let's say there's an attic above the house, put this in the hallway and maybe do some supplies into the bedrooms in order, because that's where we spend so much of our time, that maybe giving that HEPA filtration air into the bedroom would be really good for that application. So again, thinking outside of the box, but dentist office, doctors, we had someone who has services franchise for yoga studios that they thought that was a really good application for. So yeah, it's exciting. We've had a lot of people very interested in that unit. And then we have a new portable unit available too. This is a HEPA filtration, little portable unit with UV in it. And so one of the ideas behind this is we know a lot of HVAC contractors are trying to really heighten that awareness of indoor air quality with their customers. And not everybody can afford maybe a high efficiency filter on their system. But we want to make sure we're offering them something. So this is a really good solution to at least offer your homeowners for their bedroom, possibly at least, but not lose the sale, and also be that indoor air quality expert for them. At least start them off with this solution, and then we can build up if we need to.
And also another great use case scenario for this particular type of device is, I just moved to a large city. A lot of places don't have central AC or heat, and so this would be great for like small apartments in city, urban areas that don't have access to ductwork and things like that.
Absolutely, and what's great about this one is it does run off of Sensus PM 2.5, and it automatically increases the fan speed and goes down based on what's going on in the space. So when I'm getting ready in the morning, this thing all of a sudden will just fire right up and start running until it starts collecting more of those VOCs and stuff like that it can filter out.
You guys will be at the symposium.
We will be at the
symposium. We'll definitely get in touch with you guys again then. So stay tuned, everybody, and we will talk to you guys later. Thanks, Nikki.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching our video. If you enjoyed it and got something out of it, if you wouldn't mind hitting the thumbs up button to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and click the notifications bell to be notified when new videos come out. HVAC School is far more than a YouTube channel. You can find out more by going to hvacrschool.com, which is our website and hub for all of our content, including tech tips, videos, podcasts, and so much more. You can also subscribe to the podcast on any podcast app of your choosing. You can also join our Facebook group if you want to weigh in on the conversation yourself. Thanks again for watching.